So you haven't come here a lot?
I've only been here once. Well, it
Why?
just opened.
No, I've been here years ago. I was here like, I don't know.
So what's the story of
Yeah,
it?
that's when it opened.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
gone for 3 years.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it opened the year I left.
Oh, okay. Doesn't seem that.
So pretty.
There may be a bench up at the top that you can sit on if you don't want to sit on it.
No, I'm fine. It's fine with sitting there.
What is on top?
Microphone.
Oh.
It's on video. Oh, it's disc disc golf, yeah. Disc golf. Is that your lake down there?
No, that's Square Pond. That's
All right.
next door to us.
Cool.
All right, darling.
Let's take a picture on
Yes.
that rock.
I have this other one.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've come every once in a while to let me go for a walk. And she said, we go to people's houses. There's no point in telling me that. She charges $85.
For a day visit?
No.
So what is that say? So, here we are. We are up on a hill in Acton, Maine area. Not really sure where, but Casey took us for the walk. It was a real nice walk. Now it's all downhill when we leave. So, we're still having fun. All right.
So it's kind of a different, I don't want to say vibe, but it's a different something with just the four.
Yeah.
I like the fact that, like I was telling, I think Denise, that we should not be called Swapp anymore.
Right.
Because we kind of retired Swapp.
Right, right.
And this is, I love Swapp. It was a great time in our lives.
Yeah.
But it's not the same, and we're trying to make it the same. I think we're going to get a lot more out of us by just being us.
different
So we have to have a name though. What can we call ourselves?
Can we just
Yeah,
be
just
sisters?
sisters. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something, an adjective.
That's the
before
sound my
sister.
mother-in-law makes. Wait, honey, how was your dinner? Did you like what you got? Oh, did you have fun today?
Sisters.
What kind of sisters?
How we
An
became
adjective,
sisters.
So, an adjective. Didn't somebody say something? Didn't somebody come up with a name for the four of us recently?
The dwarf.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about being
thought
dwarfs. You were
I
honey.
You're horny?
No, you were honey. You're honey the dwarf.
I think I did
You
come
did
up
say
with,
something.
Yes.
But what's your name as a dwarf? I forget. What was your name? Karen. Oh, you were like a Karen. Then we
Yeah,
got
I
into
was
the Karen
Karen.
conversation. Then what was yours?
I was Loopy.
Loopy, that's right. Loopy,
Yeah, to
Loopy,
be
Loopy.
to be a dwarf, you have to be
I
like,
have to be a Y.
well, maybe not.
No,
Stock
not really.
wasn't
No,
No.
she's a
dopey,
Karen.
but
I'm an individual.
most
Karen,
of them
right?
are dopey, sneezy.
That's her name, yeah.
You know, all of those. I was thinking I could be sleepy.
So a new name.
All right, so you want to stop the universal clock?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We want to get more time out of this day that we're here, this hour that we're here. So we're going to put the clock on stop
Right.
or pause.
Right.
We're going to stay here as long as we want.
Okay.
This
then-
has to do with the theory of relativity. This is
And
the
when
thing
we
about time.
leave, we will take it off pause and we'll continue our day. So we'll get back to the lake at the same time we left it.
Right. Right. Because
So
we
this
had a
didn't
little pause
happen.
piece.
So what's the theory
Right.
behind whole hour that we stopped the clock
Yeah.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
So, have you ever read,
Yeah.
there's a written thing about this where they say something like, you know, how time is different if you have 3 minutes to kiss the best kiss of your life, or if you have 3 minutes till the person you love is dying, or if 3 minutes can seem very long or it can seem very short. And and then it has a whole list of things like an hour of running, or an hour of such and such, the bliss or the horror, whatever. There's ways that the time can feel super long.
Yeah.
Even just boiling a pot of water,
Yes,
it could take forever,
Yeah.
or it can go really fast. It depends on what else is happening around it.
Right,
It's relative. Time is relative
To
to
your surroundings.
what's happening around it.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah,
so
right.
that's kind of it.
Yeah,
And then
you're right.
Einstein was the one that discovered about that there's possibly different parallels of time
Right,
happening
right.
at the same time. So
I think that's
there's that
fascinating.
it's very fascinating, but there are times where, also, have you ever been in a near-miss car accident and you feel time suddenly slow?
Yeah.
And everything super slow, slow, and then actually it was really a second or something.
right.
But you can feel that there's moments in your life where you do feel that almost as if time stops for a minute or whatever.
See how intellectual we are.
I know.
Yeah.
And how fast a
Jeez.
day can go
Yeah,
by,
yeah.
or if you're at work and it's really busy, a day could go by fast, or a day can drag. We feel that all the time. It really is a thing, but I don't know how much you can control it.
I
but
know.
You
Well,
could.
that's what I would like.
You could
That's
think
what
it,
I would
yes.
like to figure out.
I've been
One of-
watching this show that's kind of interesting. Again, it's on Netflix and it's called Reminisce. And it's about that there was some kind of war, and so people, the Earth's atmosphere got ruined, and so people can only come out at night. And everything is water. There's no land left. But anyways, that doesn't have much to do with it. But so people, in order to, everybody's so unhappy because they lost everything, they found a way to put you in some kind of a flotation tank, right? And then they put something electrical around your head and stuff, and they inject you with something. And you can pick a memory
back in your life.
that you want to go back to. Maybe like meeting my old boyfriend again. And people get like addicted to it because they can relive how the world used to be
Right.
and
Their
happier
happier
thoughts
times.
that they have.
They could savor it.
Yeah, and so I mean I haven't got
cool.
too far into it, but I love that concept. It's just I love things about time travel.
Yes, me too. I do too, very much.
And wouldn't you love to just go back in time for an hour? And what hour would you pick?
I know.
Of our past. I mean,
An
there's a
hour
lot
with you
of
girls.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of happy times in our past, and then there's a lot of times in our
I would
past
definitely
that-
pick one of those moments on Dina's porch when we all were laughing at the same time.
So here we are
right.
sitting on the porch, okay, on this beautiful evening. The lighting is beautiful right here. It's a nice lake, okay, and we're doing the decoupage. So what they do is they took the shell, all right, and of course Debbie being the art teacher, she just didn't do just the napkin. She cut the napkin out into little pieces, and she's like wicked cool. So that's how she's doing it.
And
then the little dragonfly will be
on top.
Yep. And there's Casey's. Yep. Good. And then after, what you do is you just brush. This brush is from my hair root dye, my color when I go to do my hair. So I save all these brushes because they're perfect for this. Okay, and this is the Mod Podge. It's decoupage. Okay, here it is. Don't spill it, Denise. Mod Podge right there. You do a layer, and then you get it. You get shells. What's really cool is I gave this girl from California Atlantic shell. I said, here's a shell from around here. One of the shells that I collected. She's like, I'm gonna treasure this forever.
So do I do hodgepodge again?
Huh? And then after you mount it
Yeah.
onto the
Shell.
shell, now you cover it with a layer of Mod Podge.
Thin.
It's up to you. Whatever feels good. Where's yours?
It's down there. I'm not moving very well right now.
That's all right. Ooh, isn't that pretty with the blue? Oh, honey. I love that.
Do?
Yes. Oh, that's going to be pissa. Oh, that's going to be great. So that's drying on hers, except I just touched it, so I gotta fix it. So when you put your tissue on, you want to make sure it's flat. So I'm just gonna push that down.
Is there a particular time that you stop doing the vertical panorama?
Okay. Yeah, whenever you want to.
Yeah, whenever you got
Yeah.
what you want in the scene.
Yeah,
Because
All
we
right.
wanted to get the sky.
we want to get the top of the trees.
Yeah.
So now what we're doing is we just collected some flowers. Casey just collected flowers. And these, it depends upon how you want it to be shown. You know, so you push it kind of like you pushed it down flat with your finger, like that, okay? And then these are some more. We didn't put the bigger ones in there because they were pretty thick. All right, they were pretty thick, so we didn't put those in there. Just put some, and these are ones that I did yesterday. Now, you actually had them facing up so you could see how they would lay. Sometimes that doesn't work, and I can actually, and I put it upside down so that I can squish this bottom little stem.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't see what it
about
looks
this
like.
one?
No, that's okay. You're fine the way you did it. Just the next time, whatever you want to. Yeah, you can push it down if you want to do that. Do it like that.
But I like it.
You like it that way, right? So you put it how you like it, right? And how you can visually see that right now what it's going to look like when it's
Yeah.
flat. So then I take the paper and I fold it over. But what I've learned to crease the end because the flowers fall out. You know, when you go to move it. So at the end of the paper, I just crease it to make a pocket so that it doesn't fall out. I learned that after I had flowers all over my box. That kind of got ruined. And then you put it under something flat. Yeah. Oopsie, I forgot to put these in there. These are in there. So these are all ones that I collected yesterday, and Casey just went next door. Shh, don't tell anybody we took them. So these were all in here.
So what did I do with the hydrangea?
So then what I do is I take something heavy. This just happens to be my shoebox with my paints in it. All right, so that's pretty heavy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, Casey, hold on, and we're going to take the box, and we're going to put it on top of this.
I love it.
Okay, so you're going to put it on top of that.
Yeah.
All right. And what I do is I'll leave it for a minute, okay, but then I'll check it.
It's really nice.
What's that? Oh. So pick that up,
Yeah, it was so good.
I would never think to make that.
and then you
Yeah.
see it flattened it a little bit. Okay, so now what I would do is I would just make sure that the petals weren't crooked. So I flip it over how I want it to see. So actually that looks good, that one looks good. They look good. So, but sometimes what I'll have to do is I'll realize that one of the leaves are flipped over. So I always double check it before, and then you can put that on it. And that's a pretty good heavy box. Yep.
You have leftover
So now
paper,
this
you
one,
leftover this or that.
you're gonna have to
Put it
take
all in and it's just
each
so
one
easy.
apart
Very
and take it off.
Oh, really?
Because I don't think, if you're gonna use that, let's try it, I've never used that. So let's get a big piece. So what I do is I tend to keep some wax paper in my car. That's a good one. Let's try that, that's a good one. Or I bring the flowers home, hopefully before they die. So I would go the other way. Yeah, like that. And just kind of, so you gotta, see, that's why I wanted to do it separate. Do you know what I'm saying? I've never done it full.
Okay,
So I just kind of separate. You could do like even small groupings,
Really? I thought that was like the plainest thing on the planet.
like that. And then put it flat, turn it the other way, and then push it down,
affect
Wow.
someone who
I
is
didn't
sensitive to gluten, so
Yeah.
according to this.
Push it down how you want all the flowers to lay, right?
Was
Yeah.
this one that you did online? 'Cause
No, no,
they're
no,
not-
no,
yeah,
we did it with a
physical.
professional
That's good.
dietitian that I go
Oh,
to.
that's
She's wonderful, I love her.
To make it look like a carrot. And then that ends up being
Your
the
base.
shoulders
Yeah.
and the legs. And then after it's down, you look at it and say, where would you add the head or the arms by according to how it came out, how that blob came out.
Right.
So it kind of, and it's mostly looks like when people are walking away,
Yeah.
you can do a whole cityscape or something with people coming and going on a sidewalk by using these little carrots. So because they're very abstract, they're
What do you
not
mean a
supposed to look
carrot?
perfect.
You start with the shape.
A carrot shape.
A carrot
yeah.
shape,
Yeah,
okay.
so wider at the top, skinnier
I
at
see
the
the other
bottom.
one.
And the bottom becomes the legs.
Oh,
But
that's a long carrot.
So how did
Yeah.
you get the space between here if you went?
I ended up making this the carrot, and then I added legs too. But I just was fooling around. Just
Yeah.
I was trying to do like
That's
just
really
add an
good.
abstract blob and see
Yeah.
if you could make a person out of it. And there was one, this one
Yeah.
I thought looked like a sideways
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
You know, but so the leg, if she's sideways, you only
Yeah.
need one leg to show.
Yeah.
It's very, very abstract. But when you see paintings where
Yeah.
the people are very abstract, they're not
Yeah.
like perfectly
Right.
formed people. You barely see the hands or feet or anything. It's just a suggestion of the
Right.
person, so you don't
Yeah,
really
that's
see
what
it.
I
So
love
then I
about
put it in a
watercolor.
painting just to see if it would work. But
So what's this one?
was the first one I tried to do. Horrible.
Oh, I love
But
that one.
yeah, that's literally the carrot that I drew with the paintbrush, wider at the top,
Yeah.
skinnier at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then after I went back and looked at it, I was like, okay, I could add arms here, but even though her shoulders
Yeah.
are tilted,
It's all right.
and then it ended up looking like a one-sided dress.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
But and then I added the head, and then it still looked funny, and it didn't look like a woman. So then I added the hat. But
Yeah.
It's imagination.
Yeah.
exactly, so it's kind of a fun little
Exercise.
little
yeah.
exercise to do.
Yeah.
And then you can go further. And once you learn how to do that, it's easier to make people like that because it's
Yeah.
very impressionistic. You're not trying to make them look super real.
Right.
It's just the impression from
Yeah.
a distance,
Right.
how they would look. So.
Right.
Anyway, I thought that was fun.
Yeah,
I
that
saw a
was
YouTube
good.
video on
Yeah,
it, and I thought it was
yeah.
really cute. So if you look up the YouTube
Yeah.
videos on carrot people, making carrot people,
Okay. All right, and you
just
knew about
make
it.
that
Yeah,
carrot
yeah,
shape.
right away.
yeah,
though.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, did you
And
learn
so
about
that
it in
was
your
fun to
class?
do.
No, on YouTube because
YouTube
I was
also.
watching a watercolor artist who was doing scenes,
Yeah.
and he had people.
Yes, right. So you do
Yeah.
this
And
scene
then-
like,
and then-
and
let me see
I
that
brought
one again.
these. I brought these.
Yeah.
I had these little papers. You wanna use those?
Yes, great. I cut the big
Oh, you
piece
got
there,
that.
so.
Okay, all right, so you
But
got
we could do
paper.
that for that. Just the trick is with watercolors, people always use too much water.
Yeah, that's
You don't
my
need it.
problem.
Yeah. You don't need it. In this case, we're doing a very loose abstract thing, so there's no right or wrong. You're just putting colors on. And so I just started by picking colors that I liked.
It dries quick though.
It does.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
then you could just put another colors down. Just you're putting them anywhere in any order, and you can overlap them a little bit where they meet. This is just a little exercise. It's nothing to worry about or anything like that.
And this is the wet on wet,
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
right?
the
This
wet
is
on
what you
wet
call
technique.
wet on wet.
Yep.
Because Becky does not do wet on wet. Remember she said that?
Yeah.
Well, so
And
because
she says she does it for her skies sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the sky can be more abstract, but when she's trying to do like a building or something, you don't want wet on wet. So wet on wet makes it turn very blurry and sort of tie-dye like
Right,
this.
right, right, yep.
And then the wet on dry paper makes it stay a sharp line. In fact, that'll be a good thing to show you. So look, if the paper isn't wet and you take a bit of watercolor,
It's richer.
you can make an exact straight line.
Right, yep.
And here's the trick to that too, is if you want to make a skinny line, the trick to making a skinny line is looking like this, holding your brush straight up,
Yeah.
getting the brush to a point.
Point,
Look, rub
right.
it off
Yep,
on the
right.
sides till it comes to a point, and then make it stand up straight and just let it walk on its toes.
Yeah.
Just stroke it on its toes like that, and you'll be able to get a very straight line and
Right.
a very thin line.
Right.
Yeah, so you can do that and make it wiggle, like she's adding some drips and stuff
Oh.
like that. But this is just what I'm going to show you with this is a fun little activity you can do with this once you've got all this blur on there.
Oh, you're really blurring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like drenching it.
Yes,
Well,
my
not
paper's
drenching,
my
because I don't want my
paper,
paper to be like
like mine. Mine always gets
too wet. If it's too wet, just push it over. Just push that water.
But I mean, you're filling the whole paper up.
Yeah, I want you to fill it. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
This is just to try the wet on wet and watch how the colors blend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then something fun you can do with it later, that's the art therapy part, is first of all it's art therapy because you're not trying to make it look like something.
Right.
So you can relax and just enjoy watching the colors mix and merge and stuff like that. But then afterwards you let it dry and then you can take a marker and you trace around the little shapes that end up being made. And they're like wiggly, like they're nothing that you meant to draw, but yet it has these little sections where one color turns to another color, and you start tracing around that and it makes a very cool, relaxing design. So they're kind of fun.
Something in my throat.
Oh. Like I say, this is just like a little 5-minute exercise just to try it out.
I think I lost you, but that's all right.
Well, what's to lose? You're just putting blobs down
Yeah.
and letting them blend.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing really more to it than that. This, like I say, it's just a very simple little, just be free with it.
And then you see how the colors blend too.
Right,
what you're saying.
exactly.
Yeah,
it was
right.
like a little exercise to
Yeah.
see what happens,
Right.
to see how, so like she said, this is how you make a beautiful sky. You can paint a beautiful sky by painting just the sky wet and then putting purples and blues and pinks or reds or whatever color you want your sunset to be, and let it, but you'd make them go more side to side rather than blobs like this, but it would make beautiful cloud. And then, oh, speaking of clouds, watch this. If this was my sky,
Oh, she did talk
you would
about that,
take
yeah.
that and you just
Yeah.
take it like that and lift it, and it makes little white clouds
Right.
Yeah, Becky was
underneath.
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I made a blue sky, you'd pick it up and it would make that area lighter.
Yeah.
That's why you keep those blobs with you.
Uh-huh.
Or if you make a mistake, a terrible mistake that you didn't mean to make, you can just pick it up right away
Right,
while
right.
the paper's still wet, and it'll
So
take it
Casey
off.
didn't understand about how you could fix a mistake.
Yeah,
And she said, I fix mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to be super ready by having that blob ready.
Yeah.
And it's probably
I
not a
think
bad
she
idea to even have it in your
paints.
hand.
I think she paints over.
Yeah, she might.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's harder to paint over with watercolor, there's no
Yeah.
doubt.
I think it's hard.
It is.
But she's,
But she's been doing it for 30
Yeah.
years, so she's probably figured out a few
yeah.
tricks to it.
yeah. But at least
for the
Casey
most part.
knew that it was doable.
Yeah, so that's good. You don't have to feel like I have to give up on this painting,
Right.
maybe just keep
And
trying.
I do.
Yeah,
I give up.
but maybe
You
just
do
keep
give up?
trying.
A lot of times I get frustrated, and then I go back and it's like, why did I give up?
Yeah,
because after
good.
it dries, it looks different.
It does, yeah. And you always have to walk away from your work and
Yeah.
come back to it, because
Yeah.
also
Oh.
the other can happen where you think you're doing good, and then you stand back and look and go to the bathroom or something, and you come back and go, what the hell did I
What was
think?
I
Yeah.
thinking? Right. Oh, this is fun. An exercise.
This
Yeah.
is very
And-
good therapy.
Yeah.
It is very good therapy, so you don't have to think about what you're going to paint or
Right.
anything. You just get to just sit and paint. Like, this is something you could probably do with your old ladies, because they don't have to have a skill about
Right,
it.
yeah.
It's just putting on the pretty colors
my
and watching them
God,
bloom.
yeah, right.
They just bloom. And it's
Right.
fun to watch them like spread out and stuff. And then I have hair dryers in my classroom, so we
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
dry it.
Yeah, Becky did too.
Yeah,
and then
Becky had
after
a-
you
yeah.
dry it,
Sorry to keep comparing to Becky, but
no,
we're
you just
tell
finish
you what we
going there.
were-
That makes
Yeah.
total
Yeah.
sense. And then that just means, I mean, just about all watercolor teachers say the same things,
Right.
you know, because there's certain things to
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But, so say this was dry, and I was
Right,
gonna
yeah.
use the marker now, after it's very dry. Usually I have my kids do this the first day, then the second day, I have them do it. So don't let these white cracks be there,
Okay.
let it blend right into each other if you can. Just add another color, it doesn't have to be more brown or anything, but. So anyway, see how now this marker, and I would trace around this pink section, and then I trace around this blue section in this funny little shape that it happens to be. And this part here, though, is
Yeah.
purple. It almost looks like sunglasses or a bikini top.
Oh, wow.
So I would trace around that. And you just start tracing all the edges of everything, which are very abstract. And once you do, it's you can leave it like this if you wanted to, but this is just the second activity you can do to this one.
Yeah.
And you
So-
just do on the dry paper,
Yeah.
trace around the shapes.
Yeah, so it
And
does
they
have
look
to
really
dry.
cool.
And this is where you said you would go and you would dry it if
I
you
would
were in
use
your
the hair
classroom.
dryer, right.
Right, so then tomorrow, I'm gonna like take the
Take
pen
the pen
and kind of
just
like get
trace
some
around the
shapes.
edges.
The ones that I like.
And it comes out like these jaggedy little black lines everywhere, and it looks like a beautiful abstract painting.
Yeah.
It's really a cool thing.
Wow.
You can still add more colors or more
Yeah,
blobs if you
yeah,
want
right,
to get more shapes, but
Yeah.
you
You know,
can.
what I could do with this, if I did this, like I can see pine trees and
So,
the
yeah,
reflection
see,
of
there you
water.
go.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So you can write a little drawing in there.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And that is actually how they make abstract
Right,
snow
right, yeah,
pictures and
yeah.
stuff, is they make the little blobs of trees and it makes the, it makes a leaf or whatever. So I'm just saying you can use the brush that way,
Yeah.
or you can use the brush this way and make single lines.
Yeah.
I need more paint. But if you stand it up on its toes, you can make a single flat line. You know,
Uh-huh.
you can make the brush do different things.
Right.
But if
So
you
you call
laid
it a
it
floppy
down,
brush.
well, this one is a softer, squishier brush. It's
Okay.
softer.
Yeah.
Whereas this, well, I think I brought mostly all watercolor brushes. But see, this brush is stiff
Uh-huh.
and it's scruffy at the top. That's more for making different things. I don't know if you can see the difference, but see how it makes those
Yeah,
scruffy
right, yeah,
lines?
yeah.
So you might want those scruffy lines for grasses or something, or something
right,
that's
yeah.
got texture on a barn
You
or something
learned all
like
your
that.
brushes, what
Yeah,
they do, right? Yeah.
So for
right now,
watercolor,
what we're gonna do now-
use the softer, squishier brush.
Yeah.
Because this brush is gonna try to make the shape that it is, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make the carrot people in one stroke.
Okay.
Not trying to draw it in a carrot
Yeah,
person,
right.
but I'm trying to let the brush flop down and make a person
Okay.
by me dragging it. So we
Okay.
need, I'm gonna try a couple different brushes here till I can find the one that works. 90% of it is getting the brush right. And you just don't get to know that until you've made lots of paintings
Right,
to
yeah.
know which brush does what. You feel content. Even if the part can be frustrating, it can be. Here's my little people right here. Just from that blob, just look at it and go, well,
Right,
is
yeah.
this a person facing this way or that way? And you can put arms up, arms down. I'm just making little abstract
What you're doing is you're tracing onto the watercolor paper.
onto the
Onto the
yeah, the
yeah.
paper.
What do you call that paper?
Oh,
Carbon.
carbon
Carbon
paper.
paper, right, carbon paper. And then that goes onto your watercolor paper.
Correct.
Right,
And then yes, the carbon paper will show,
yeah.
but then you can recover it with the micron pens, which are like markers. Thin
Table.
Oh, where we were?
Yeah, and the mountains in the background, and Bailey sitting with his tongue hanging out. Like, holy shit, that was a long walk up.
That's so
Yeah.
cute.
And that's what you ended up tracing from this picture here. You got the original picture, and then you traced it onto here, and now you're just filling in. Cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll use dark color.